Hey! Hi guys! I am so sorry that it's been, well, like 2 months. Spat on the microphone. I am deathly ill. I am quite literally on death's doorstep. I was not able to go to school yesterday, and obviously I'm not at school today, so I thought, what better way to take advantage of my free time than to make a video for my loved ones at home. Know that you have all been waiting by the windowsill, akin to a wife waiting for her husband to come back from war, for another video from me, and I apologize. Listen, I'll give you a full life update at the end of this video, but this video is basically just gonna be what I've read since I've been away from you guys. I love opening my iPad to just the most absolutely insane headlines on the news, but we're not gonna talk about that. I'm pretty sure since the last time we spoke, I've read 12 books. The last book I spoke to you guys about was, well, Captured by the Cthulhu by Ivy Sparks. I think I gave it 3 stars. Only because I am not its target audience, and from a strictly just cutesy love story standpoint, completely not recognizing the fact that it's about a human and an ancient nautical monster, it was pretty good. Okay? The next book I read was Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. What's wild is this had the exact same rating as Captured by the Cthulhu. This was also a 3 stars for me. This was really cute. I am not a huge contemporary romance reader. Like, I don't love contemporary romance books. I don't know why, I just can't get into them. But this was cute. Like, it was a cute summer read. If you are into contemporary romance, you would probably love this book. It's about this girl who's kind of like has an avoidant attachment style and meets this like guy online. I think like literally they meet through Reddit, which I was like, hell yeah. Honestly, I feel like I'd most likely meet my soulmate through Reddit and not like Hinge. And it's about her, you know, she's a traveling nurse, so she's kind of like never stays in one place too long, and then she ends up being a nurse in his city where he lives for the summer. They fall in love and, you know, happily ever after, I guess. No thoughts. I gave that 3 stars. It was cute. As someone who's not a contemporary romance reader, it was cute. So you'd probably like it if you are. Next, I read The 12 Laws of the Universe by Manardeep Singh Ahluwalia. I gave this 4 stars. I loved it. I am in a very spiritual time in my life. I have just started school again. I'm in drama school. A lot of drama school and acting training is about connecting with your spirituality and like unlearning a lot of things that we are taught in our lives, and this book really weirdly touches on a lot of those things. It's also just good for grounding yourself. I would always just listen to this. I listen to this on audiobook before bed or on my walk or something because it's calming. Then I read Life is Short and So Is This Book by Peter Atkins. And this was literally 20 pages. I don't even know. 5 stars. 5 stars. Sometimes a book just should be 20 pages. You know? Why do we insist on making books 600 plus pages? It's just kind of about learning how to live life with intention, learning how to... Sorry, my lungs just started really hurting. Being comfortable in sitting in the fear of like following your dreams and trusting that that is the right path for you, and that you have to kind of just look down and work towards your dreams and fuck social media because it's not real. None of it's real. This is all fake, okay? So I loved that book. I really needed it to just reground myself. Then these next 2 probably aren't going to be that exciting to y'all unless you are also actors, but I read Respect for Acting by Uta Hagen. I listened to this on audiobook on Spotify Premium. It was really, really good. I gave it 4 stars. A lot of insight into different techniques, a lot of insight into what makes an actor truly great and what makes an actor just kind of good enough. An actor's method is very, very particular to each actor. Not one method is going to work for every actor, because we are all human beings who have had different life experiences and trigger our emotional well in different ways. And I think the way that Uta Hagen speaks about it in this book definitely resonated with me. So if you are also an actor, I would recommend this book. It was honestly very interesting. I then read a play called The Broken Heart by John Ford. I loved this play. I actually did a monologue from this play in my audition for drama school, which got me into that school. I'm trying to remember this play, but it's basically like this woman was in love with this guy and they were deeply in love, but then her brother marries her off to some gross dude, and then the guy who she was supposed to marry and was in love with vows to like get revenge on the guy that took his sister away from her, and then he ends up like killing everyone, ends up fucking dying very violently and tragically in the end, of course. As all great plays do end that way. Great monologue, great play. If you are a play acting person, yes, love. Ooh, okay. We're getting into some interesting territory. Next, I read the short story called The Lottery by Shirley Jackson. I gave this 4.5 stars, I believe. This is so fucking interesting. It's hard to explain, so let me just read the synopsis on Fable. In a small American town, the local residents are abuzz with excitement and nervousness when they wake on the morning of the 27th of June. Everything has been prepared for the town's annual tradition, a lottery in which every family must participate and nobody wants to win. It's so good. It's essentially kind of a commentary on how we as a society blindly follow medieval and outdated traditions and ideas just because authority tells us to. It's also kind of a commentary on, like, what is that thing? The, like, bystander effect or something it's called, where you like to think that you will intervene when something terrible is happening in front of you, but when it actually comes down to it, a lot of people just freeze and, like, don't know what to do. I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, it's essentially just about this lottery that happens every year. It's kind of like the Hunger Games, where something terrible happens to a family, and it's just a tradition. And you never really understand why they do it or what exactly the tradition is. And every single time somebody tries to question it, the one like authority figure just immediately shuts them down without ever giving an explanation. Does this sound familiar? I think so. Next, I read another play, The Glass Menagerie by Tennessee Williams. Brilliant play. Guys, get into reading plays. Actually, get into seeing plays. I just read them because I have to for school, but get into going to see theater. Theater and the arts is more important than ever right now. Go support your local theater. Go see plays. They're so beautiful and informative and educational and important. And The Glass Menagerie is a classic. It's basically about this family who was extremely poor in the 1930s in Boston, I believe. And I should know because I'm about to be tested on it. And it's told through the lens of the son, the youngest son, who is kind of, narrating the story of his family, which is just him, his mother, and his sister. And each of them kind of represent archetype, I think. Like, he is, obviously a man in the 1930s. He's supposed to provide for his family of two women, but he hates his life. He wants to be an artist. He wants to be a writer and a poet. His mother's pressuring him to work in a factory and climb the ladder and, be in the rat race so that he can make a living for them. The mother is still living in the past when she was, this beauty queen and has never gotten over her husband and their father leaving and never coming back. The daughter is this extremely sickly, nervous, shy girl who desperately wants to find love and be loved, but just can't allow herself to because she's so tightly wound. It's a very, very sad play, but it is so good. It's just kind of commentary on the American dream. Next, I finally finished reading Quicksilver by Callie Hart. Okay, this was a thick book, and it took me a while to get into it in the beginning. Have you seen that video? In the Beninging. It was very hard to get into this book in the Beninging, but I ended up like about like 55% of the way in, perhaps. I was like, oh, I'm eating this up. 24-year-old, I'm 24. Saris Fane is good at keeping secrets. No one knows about the strange powers she possesses. Or the fact that she has been picking pockets and stealing from the Undying Queen's reservoirs for as long as she can remember. When Saris comes face to face with death himself, she inadvertently reopens a gateway between realms and is transported to a land of ice and snow. The Fae have always been the stuff of myth, of legend, and of nightmares. But it turns out they're real, and Saris has landed right in the middle of a centuries-long conflict that might just get her killed. I don't want to spoil it if you're gonna read it, but honestly, this kind of ate. I mean, it says here I gave it 3.5 stars. I think it's just because I love fantasy so much that and this might be unfair, if I read one and it's not like perfect and everything I wanted, it's hard for me to even give it like a 4 stars. This was pretty good. I have to say, I think the one thing was I found there was a lot of parts in the writing that felt quite juvenile. Like there was just kind of some writing that I was just like, that just felt like a 14-year-old would say that. And I'm not trying to shade the author at all, because I couldn't write a fantasy novel without doing that, but that's just how I felt. Kingfisher, so hot. So hot. Except his name is Kingfisher. When they first introduced him and he was like, oh, like that's Kingfisher, I was like, surely that's his nickname, and we're gonna find out his real name later. No. His name is just Kingfisher. Yes, like the bird that flies along the sea. So that was kind of a bummer. But it was fun. It was pretty good. It left a little to be desired. I'll probably read the second one. I think it might be out already. I don't know. I don't remember, but I know it's coming. So I just thought of the Kamala Harris. Do not come. Do not come. Next, I read, this is a good one. Big Swiss by Jen Began. This book is tea. This book is tea. If you are into like Mona Awad, who is my queen, I am obsessed with Mona Awad. Any Mona Awad book I've given, I'm pretty sure, like, if not 5 stars, like 4.5. I love Mona Awad so much, and Big Swiss is so Mona Awad-y. Less so, like, acid trippy and more realistic, I suppose, and contemporary, but still just as fucked. Big Swiss is about this woman who's in her mid-40s, I believe, who is a transcriber for therapy sections for a sex therapist. So she essentially just listens to these sessions through this sex therapist named Om, and she transcribes them and sends them back over to Om. And she develops kind of a weird obsession with one of his patients, who's this young 28-year-old beautiful Swiss girl who she nicknames Big Swiss because she doesn't know what her real name is. Anyways, it just goes in places where I had no idea it was going to go in. There's like 18 different plots in this book, all revolving around Big Swiss and the protagonist, Greta, but she's also kind of the antagonist as well. They end up meeting, Greta and Big Swiss, by fluke, and it just snowballs into this sapphic, fucked up, toxic relationship pipeline into so much more. Like, that's not even scratching the surface of what this book is. It was just so good. It took me a second to get into it because the writing is quite jarring at first, but it's so good. If you're into fucked up literary fiction or just fiction, it is so good. Big Swiss. That was 4 stars for me. I then just read the really short a story on audiobook, A Choice of Three by Alex Turner. I gave it 3 stars. I am obsessed with the Arctic Monkeys, so if you are also obsessed with the Arctic Monkeys and just want to listen to Alex Turner's voice tell a funny story about him on the tube in London, then you should definitely listen to that. Next, the last book I read recently, I actually finished it yesterday or on Sunday, I think. I read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. This was really fucking funny. It was so funny. The whole book is a joke. It's not to be taken seriously. I'm pretty sure in the opening, the author literally said that he came up with this idea just randomly when he was at like writers college and thought it would be funny to make up a fake story about a fake encyclopedia about space written by aliens and create a story revolving around that. And he did just that, and it is hilarious. It is so British humor. Like, if you find British humor as funny as I do, then you will absolutely love it. Just stupid. Like, just barely makes sense. Every rule of storytelling is broken. It is so funny. I'm trying to think how to even summarize it, but it's basically about this human man named Arthur who is best friends with a guy named Ford Prefect, who is an alien in disguise who named himself Ford Prefect, who is stuck on Earth. And essentially aliens come down one day and are like, hey, unfortunately we're building a like tri-galactic highway and Earth is right in the middle of where we need to build it. So unfortunately we need to blow up Earth to build this tri-galactic highway. And Arthur's like, what the fuck? So then Ford Prefect and Arthur manage to escape onto the spaceship that gives this announcement, go up into space, and then the remainder of the story is just Ford and Arthur's adventure in space. And it is fucking perfect. I don't know what else to say. It's a classic for a reason. It is so funny. Like, I was truly laughing my ass off the entire time. I remember I was finishing it. I was sitting in Chapters downtown Toronto reading it, and I finished it, and I literally was like laughing audibly to myself reading it in public. And like, I just love that feeling so much. So those are all the books that I've read, I guess, since we last spoke. But I also right now, I am reading Vengeful by V.E. Schwab, which is the sequel to Vicious, which is an incredible book. If you've been on my channel for a long time, you know that V.E. Schwab is my favorite author. She's perfect, she's incredible, she's everything. Her writing takes me places I've never been before. And I started reading this yesterday as I was waiting in the doctor's office, who then told me that they're pretty sure I either have the flu or COVID. Thank you. But this, I'm pretty sure it's a duology. I think there's only 2, but this duology, the first one is up there, it's red, is about these 2 university students who are super like Mensa smart, and they basically find out that if you die and are somehow brought back to life, you are brought back with superhuman powers. And so they essentially both unalive themselves and come back to life and have all these superpowers. Things take a turn and they end up turning against each other because they both want to use this new knowledge and power for different reasons. And Victor and Eli are their names, and they end up becoming mortal enemies. And the story is basically like them trying to take each other out, essentially. It's so good. I love it. And I literally am only 53 pages into Vengeful, and I'm already obsessed with it, and I already know it's gonna be a high rating because everything I read by V.E. Schwab is a high rating. That's it. That's all, guys. To give a quick life update, I suppose, in an attempt to explain why I've been so MIA, I have moved. I moved out of my lovely apartment, which was sad, but I had no choice because poor. I, again, got into drama school, which is super exciting and something that I've wanted for a very long time. So I'm at drama school full-time now, except for when I'm sick with the flu and have to stay home. And I'm also still working full-time. So when I'm not at school, I'm working. So I've been a little busy, to say the least, and I apologize because I haven't just like stopped wanting to make videos. I've been wanting to. I've just genuinely had not even a second of time. As you can see, the only time I'm able to film a video is when I'm deathly ill and I'm just not at school. I'm really going to try and get back on schedule with you guys and making videos, so please let me know what kind of videos you guys want to see. I think the next video I do, I want it to be kind of like a fall. Oh my god, it's the first day of fall also. Happy first day of fall, guys. The best season of all seasons. So it's all good, guys, except again, sick, but it's good. It's good. And I hope it's good for you guys too. I miss you. Let me know what you've been reading. Give me recommendations, because after I finish Vengeful, I don't know what I'm going to read next. I think I want to do Red Rising. That's been on my list for a very long time. But other than that, don't forget to follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is Livy's Lib. Fable and Goodreads, Livy's Lib.